On the 20th of November 2025, my life changed for the worse because I discovered and got interested in the latest Hollow Knight game, Silksong. And ever since I started playing this game, I'm almost 100% sure I've gotten more testosterone. And why, you might be asking? Well, it's because this game is so nerve-wracking and adrenaline consuming that you get to a point where you get sleepy after all the stress from it. Well, I mean, that's how it is for me because this is my first Dark Souls type of game, you know? Who must stop with those voice cracks. And now, for those of you who don't know what Silksong is, it's basically a 2D game, 2D type of, tutorial type of 2D, except for the fact that you have great graphics and you're a character named Hornet. And it's basically a storyline where you're trying to get to a big citadel and you go up against bosses and do quests and all of that yippity yappity. And there's like 3 acts, I think, yeah. So you just get through all of those and you're done with the game. But it's not as easy as it looks because it's probably harder than you think. It's the type of game where you would probably be like super happy after beating a boss. You would probably be crying of happiness because of how many tries it will take. Well, I'm a bad gamer, so for me, I get really happy when I beat something that I've been waiting on for a couple of times, you know? Especially those wave monsters and attacks you get. Basically, you go into like a room, both sides are closed, and you're just supposed to fight like a wave of monsters of that area. And that's usually the most annoying part of the whole game. I think that's more annoying than the boss because you just have to be aware of how many hearts and how many stuff you have, how much health you have, and all of that, you know? While when you're with the boss, you can just focus on the boss, and when you get low, you can just pop a bind. But that's not how it works because you get attacked while healing as well when it comes to these waves. Now, the storyline of the game is kind of complicated in my opinion, but I like it because the further you get into it, the more fun it gets, but also the harder it gets. It's like you would never really, I mean, I don't know anyone that's finished the game. Sure, up to like Act 2 where there's like 2 endings of the game, but like it's a super hard game to finish. I'm attempting to finish at least Act 2. I am not attempting to go to Act 3 because I am most definitely not even gonna be able to get through. There's so many quests you have to do and there's so many requirements you have to achieve and all of that, you know? I just keep it to myself. I'll just finish Act 2 and then I think I'll just hop to the older Hollow Knights because this is my first Hollow Knight game, so I want to try all of them and see which one I like the most. Though Silksong is really great. I recommend you buy it. I think it's like $10, $8, something like that, £8. I actually have no idea. Let me search that up. I was completely off. It's $20. Well, I mean, $20 for a game like that is good because you have so many slots and dude, it's like a really big storyline. Like I just came back to the game after not playing it for like a week or two, and I'm telling you that shit, it's the greatest feeling ever because you have something to grind during the winter holiday, and who doesn't want something to grind, you know? Now let's talk about the feeling when you go up against the boss, because this is, I said the waves are worse, but the bosses sometimes can be worse than the waves of monsters you get. I mean, the first feeling you get is, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Because the boss have different moves. You've never seen these moves. Unless you go up against, unless you've played the game before or like you've searched up on YouTube what the next boss is and you've watched all his moves and everything and you beat him first try. But I mean, honestly, if you explore the game yourself, which is gonna be kind of hard because there's a lot of mazes in this game. There's a lot of problem solving. Um, then it's most likely going to be more fun because you get to explore, you know? It has come to a point where I've had to search up on YouTube how to beat a boss. And that was the boss in Act 1 called the Widow. And I think it was the Mother Splinter or something like that. You guys will get it once you start playing. But the feeling when you go up against the boss, the first time you're just confused. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what you're supposed to do. You're just jumping around and hitting when you know you can. And if it's your first time playing, like it's the first boss ever, then you're not gonna know what you're doing at all, because you don't know whether you have to get used to a pattern of the boss or whether you have to actually like just attack it whenever you can. You know, it's kind of different there. But once I beat the first boss, I got the hang of it because I started dying a lot on the second boss, which is, I think the second boss of Act 1 is like a, it's like the travel guy. What's it called? I don't know. It's like a big ass sludge or worm that helps you travel everywhere, which is really great, by the way. Really great use in Act 2. And you just get used to it, but after like playing a few attempts and you now know the attacks, that's where it starts to become kind of nerve-wracking because you have to be very careful to not get hit by this slash or this like rush or this and that. When he jumps up, you don't have to. Also, when you actually like touch an enemy without hitting that enemy, you usually take damage, which is also something you have to be careful of because it takes 1 heart from your HP. And most bosses take 2 hearts with one attack, so you gotta be careful. That's all I'm saying. But also, after you gotten through a few attempts, and now you're feeling like you're close to killing it, you get to the third or fourth phase or second phase of that enemy, then you start doing everything in a different way. You start thinking in a different way. It's like you're actually just like so focused on the game. It's like your brain hurts because that happened to me yesterday. My brain started hurt. I was overloaded with like strategies and stuff of beating a specific boss. Which boss was it? I think I beat Widow 2 days ago, so it was probably Widow. Yeah, Widow was really strategic for me. And also the last Judge, which is the last boss of Act 1. Those two bosses got me going crazy because the last Judge was easy, but once you took damage, almost four hearts of your thing were gone. So you have to be really focused. And for me, like especially like yesterday when I lost myself and forgot some abilities that I had to bring to progress in the game, I was so stressed I had to go around like the whole map and back to Act 1 to find the things that I needed. And then after that, I went up against the cogwork dancers that you guys see on the screen right now. By the way, I got ass clapped during this whole footage, so if you guys think it's satisfying, then drop a like or something. I don't know. But yeah, by the way, I did beat the cogwork dancers almost 3 attempts after I stopped this footage, by the way. So those two were actually annoying as well. I did them this morning, and it's been like 2 hours since I beat them. And now I'm in a wave of monsters, of robots and stuff. So those are kind of annoying as well. We're gonna get used to them, don't worry. But yeah, all I'm saying is when you get so close to killing a boss, you feel like the earth is gonna go under or something because if you die, then you feel like you will never be able to beat that boss. It's just so different sometimes because I'm just gonna say this now. Every boss you go up against, you are not gonna one try that shit. You're not gonna kill that boss in one attempt. Just forget about that. That's really hard to do, okay? Especially if you're someone like me that has never played a game like this before. This was completely new for me and I loved it because I have 3 months of Xbox Game Pass. That's why. So yeah, you guys will probably never like beat a boss on the first try until you get as I don't know, unless you actually like get the best crests or the best abilities or the best moves or you just know how to play with your crest or memento. So different, but I think anyone could love this game actually. I think this game is for every single type of person. Now I'm in Act 1. No, I'm in Act 2. I finished Act 1 almost. No, it was yesterday in the morning actually, yeah, because I beat the last judge then. And that's the last boss of Act 1. The acts are basically chapters, so you get like a new objective after every chapter. But I think after Act 2 it's kind of more free because I think the storyline. I don't know if it ends. I have no idea, and I'm not gonna search that up. But I think you can have two different endings on it. There's something called a cursed ending, where basically your whole body is cursed, and you have like tentacles and stuff coming out of your heart or something. And then there's like a normal way where you just kill the last boss and then you're done. But yeah, I think it's very interesting how this game really works. I never thought I would be playing something like this. And in the future, I'll definitely touch more of these games because they're just so addicting and fun. Like when I got this new PC, I hopped off Roblox for a good month or two, okay? Because I'm so used to playing like combat games on Roblox because that's funny. Or something like Deep Oak, which is a Dark Souls inspired game on Roblox. Once you get the hang of real games, your whole life changes because you just get addicted to that game. I haven't had this addiction feeling since OG Fortnite, which was like 6 years ago or 5 years ago, which is really crazy to me because I never thought I would have this feeling again. But now I'm thinking, lowkey, I'm gonna go play Hogwarts Legacy after I beat Silksong, because it's an Elden Ring type game with Harry Potter magic, and I'm gonna try that out because I just love these types of games now. I just need more of these games in my life because my whole winter holiday gets so much better when I can play Silksong. It's just so much easier and so much better for me. I saw two girls in my class playing this game and it looked really good. And I was like, yo, that game might be fun for us. And when I got the opportunity to get it for free, I had to. I just want to come on here and yap for a little, And now, lowkey, I gotta go feed my food, so peace.